So I've shared with you guys quite a few times stories and experiences from my time in the Marine Corps. I do this because, one, the Marine Corps is a huge part of my life, even though I got out, many years ago. It's a culture thing. It's something that I'm very passionate about, that I have love for. Plus, I think it's really cool to see how things in life and things in the Marine Corps can transition to leadership, management, guild leading, raid leading, etc. Now, with that being said, because it is part of my life, because it is part of me, I do continue, even though, like I said, I've been out of the Marine Corps for, we'll say, a couple of years, and it makes me feel old to think about how long I've been out. But because it's so important to me, I do keep up with the news for the Marine Corps. Now, I want to share with you guys a basic synopsis of a policy letter that was sent out 2 weeks ago, April 16th. From the commanding general of the 2nd Marine Division, so a fourth of the Marine Corps. Okay, there's 4 divisions in the Marine Corps. A fourth of the Marine Corps in the 2nd Marine Division, 2nd Mar Div, if I refer to it as that in this video, is essentially East Coast Marine Corps. Okay, you're looking at the big one being Camp Lejeune. If you guys have never heard of it, it's Marine Corps wide. It's WISE. It's the big base on the East Coast, right? Camp Pendleton on the West Coast, biggest base in the Marine Corps. Camp Lejeune on the East Coast. So this commanding general, who, don't quote me on this, I believe is a 2-star general, essentially details that he, along with his sergeant major, who is the, for him it's the highest ranking enlisted rank that you can obtain, his advisor on enlisted matters for the Marine Corps, and his command master chief, again, same thing for the Navy, that they essentially inspected and walked through the division spaces. So anything that he is in charge of as the commanding general, he went through. And he noticed, and he details in this letter, essentially that things are fucked up. He says that Marines and sailors are walking around with long hair, with fucked up boots, fucked up uniforms, even their civilian attire. And yes, as a Marine active duty in the Marine Corps, you have a standard of civilian attire that you are able to or not able to wear. There are certain things that you will get in trouble for wearing. Certain things that you were told, pants have to have a belt. It doesn't matter if there are belt loops, you have to wear a belt, which is probably why I tell my son, thinking about it, that, he should wear a belt. But anywho, this commanding general says that essentially things are fucked up. Marines have long hair. Sailors have long hair. Their uniforms look like crap. Their workspaces look like crap, that their buildings have weeds growing out of them, that the grass is too long, that the barracks have trash rolling around in them, that things aren't cleaned up, that, essentially discipline and accountability has fallen, that nobody is fixing this issue. And because of this, he is going to fix it to rebuild this ironclad discipline, as he says, because leaders have not stepped up and they do need to step up to the plate, quote, reestablish and enforce a basic daily routine that promotes habits of thought and action, efficiency, and adherence to the standards that are the hallmarks of our nation's force and readiness. Quote, that is in the letter. Okay, so he details this. Again, don't quote me on it, 2-star general, a basic daily routine, a schedule that each and every Marine should follow or will follow to the letter. And here it is. 5:30 in the morning, you're going to wake up. Okay? Division-wide reveille. 5:35 to 6 o'clock is hygiene, room cleanup, and blinds at half-mast. Essentially, you're going to raise your mini blinds halfway on the window. That way, your leadership, your sergeants, staff sergeants, lieutenant, etc., can see what's going on in your barracks, see if it's trashed or not. From 6 to 8 o'clock in the morning, you're going to PT. You get PT recovery. Essentially, you get to go take another shower. Police call the barracks, or really a shower. You'd be dumb to take a shower when you wake up. Police call the barracks, which basically means clean shit up. Clean up common areas and assigned area cleanup. So you may be assigned to clean the parking lot or something. From 8 o'clock to 8:15, you're going to form up. You're going to be inspected. From 8:15 to 12 o'clock, you do your normal job. You break 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock for chow. My time in the Marine Corps, it was 11:30 to 1, or sometimes 12 to 1:30, sometimes 11:30 to 1:30. It was pretty fucking cool. But with this basic daily routine, you get an hour for lunch from 1 o'clock to 4:30. Again, you're going to do your normal crap. From 4:30 to 4:45, you're going to form up again. That your platoon and company leaders, so your lieutenants, your captain, etc., are going to pass on guidance. And then from 4:45 to 5:30 the next morning is your time. But you should ensure that your uniforms and equipment are squared away for the next day. It says it in there. So, what does this mean? Okay, let's take a step back. For those of you that aren't in the Marine Corps, those of you that have never served in a military branch, those of you that are utterly confused about what's going on, what does this mean? This means that a 2-star general, again, don't quote me on it, but that's what we're going for here, that he has micromanaged down to the smallest, most fine detail, to the most lowest ranking member of his division, how their day will play out. Now, what does this mean ultimately? This means quite a few things. I've already seen posts on Reddit. I've already seen videos. I've already seen things on other social media where there are speakers in the barracks that are playing Reveille at 5:30, that people are unhappy, that Marines are looking for, not necessarily, I don't want to say a way out, but that are flat out not looking to re-enlist. That they're not interested in it. Because why would they want to stick around for that bullshit? And it is bullshit. And the reason why it is bullshit is this. You have a problem with your division as a commanding general. So your fix is not to detail and micromanage down to the newest private that just arrived yesterday what they should be doing. Instead, you should be, 1, empowering, and 2, reaching out to your leaders, right? If you're a 2-star general, you need to be reaching out to those battalion commanders, those colonels. Hey, colonels, what the fuck? What's going on? What happens then? Those colonels and those sergeant majors, they reach out to those majors and those captains, for the companies, and they go, "Hey there, captains, what's going on? What the fuck?" Those captains reach out to those lieutenants, and they go, "Lieutenants, fix it. Sergeants, fix it. Corporals, fix it." Boom, problem solved. This is micromanagement, the very definition of micromanagement. This has, I don't know what the lasting effects on retention for the Marine Corps, at least 2nd Marine Division, are. I can tell you that when I was in MOS school, job school, right? You getting trained for my job. That at the end of school, they rank the classmates, the Marines that are there, based on how well they're doing. Okay, so you may get a number. Hopefully it's 1. Hopefully it's not the last guy in the class. And they will list the duty stations. And those duty stations, they may say, we need 5 Marines with this MOS to go to Camp Pendleton, 3 of them to go to Okinawa, 3 of them to go to Camp Lejeune. Word's going to get out if it hasn't already, and you're going to really push away people, and you're going to get the worst ones there because of this. Now, why do I care about this? Obviously, because of my time in the Marine Corps. Okay? Obviously, because I have a love for the Marine Corps. But I can also see this as a problem within a guild. If you, as the commanding general, as the guild leader, detail out to the newest person what they will or will not do within the raid, that you will log in at this time, and you will do Mythic Plus at this time, and you will go and do dailies at this time. Because if you don't, nobody's going to want to be in that. Nobody's going to want to be in that. And that is a lesson in why it's not good to micromanage. That you should be empowering your officers, that you should be, at least in the case of the Marine Corps, empowering your leaders, your captains, and truth be told, more specifically, your corporals and sergeants, the ones that are doing the work. Okay. the ones that are truly doing the work, the corporals and sergeants of the Marine Corps that are getting shit done. At work, you should be empowering your what the Marine Corps would call small unit leaders, corporals and sergeants, maybe even lance corporals, but those that are in control of the smaller teams. And you should be getting them to fix the issues. Having this embarrassment of a letter go out. I mean, Marines on Reddit are laughing their ass off about this. It's a joke. It shows this. It shows to the world. It shows to the Marine Corps the lack of trust this CG, this commanding general, has in his troops, in his leaders, and it shows how out of touch a person can become if they think that they that high up are going to fix at the small detail of weeds, in front of a barracks, that they're able to handle that they're able to, because they write a letter that's, private so-and-so is going to start pulling weeds. No, it comes down to those small unit leaders fixing it. And it really puts a bad taste in people's mouths when they are working their asses off, after fighting war after war after war, to come home and to see their commanding general tell them this. And I hope, because it was an eye-opening experience reading this, I'm glad that I'm out of the Marine Corps for that. I never went to Camp Lejeune for a duty station. Just did some training there. Yeah, it really opened my eyes about how awful micromanagement can be. So I've ranted on about this, probably something that most of you guys really could care less about, but I thought it was interesting. It was an eye-opening experience about micromanagement. And hopefully you guys, hopefully you like it. But if you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.